In the last class, we're looking at the Keynes uh, Friedman demand money function, and we look at the MD is equals to the YP and H, then RM, RB, RE, then change and pre, and also over P, and also U. And if we assume that no price changes is acceptable and stated, and the institution factors such as H and U remain fixed in the short run, and also all the three rates of interest returns on plugged into one. So Friedman's demand for also money function is simply as MD is equals to function of YP and also R. So Friedman main also insight, unlike Keynes, also is that the interest rate should have little effect on money demand, and that correlation between interest rate and money demand is also we look at the weak since rate relative also incentives to hold money does not change very much. So we're also looking at determinants of demand for money. There are determinants for money and demand for money. Among these important variables that can shift the demand for money at the level of income, and also rate GDP, the price level, the expectation transfers, and also cost and the preferences. So number one, real GDP affects the demand for money. The demand for money in the economy is likely to increase when real GDP is high, and increase in rate also GDP increases of income in the economy. For instance, a household with an income of 100,000 per month is likely to demand a large quantity of money than the household with an income of 50,000 per month. This shows that money is a normal good, that as income increases, people demand more money at a very higher each interest rate, and as income fail, they also demand less. And also the price level, the higher the price level, the more money is required to purchase a given level of goods and services. So the higher the price level, the greater the demand for money, other things being equal. Then expectation, sorry, the speculation demand for money is based on expectation about price of securities and bonds. So the expectation that bond prices are about to change also actually causes bond prices to change. For instance, when people expect bond prices to fall, they will also sell their bonds in exchange for money. But when they expect the price to rise, they will reduce their demand for money. The importance of the expectation also moving markets can also lead to what Keynes called self-fulfilling prophecy methods 2018. And similarly, expectation about future price level also affects the demand for money. So the expectation of a higher price level means that people expect the money they are holding to fall in value. Given that expectation, they are likely to hold less of its anticipation of jump in prices. And so we're looking at the transfer cost for a given level of expectation also expenditure reduce the quantities of money demand to require more frequently transfer between non-money and money deposit as the cost of such transfer rise. Some consumers will also choose to make fewer of them. They will also therefore increase the quantity of money they demand. In general, the demand for money will increase as it also becomes more expensive to also transfer money between money and money, non-money economic account. So the amount of money will fall if transfer costs decline. So looking at the preference also, preference also looking at preference also play a role in determining demand for money. Some people play a high value on having a considerable amount of money on hand. Household attitude towards risk or another aspect of a preference that also affects money demand. So a noticed bond pay higher interest rate than money deposit, but holding bond entails a risk that also bond price might also fall. So there is also a change that the issues of a bond will not pay the amount specified on the also bond to the bond holder. Indeed, bond issues may end up paying nothing at all. So a money deposit, also such as a savings deposit, might earn a lower yield, but it's a safe yield. People attitude about trade off between risk and yield affects the degree to which they hold their weight as money. So heightened concern should risk in 2018 global financial crisis and also led many households to increase their demand for money. And so we're moving on to another topic, and we're looking at the quality of money. And so when we're looking at the quality of money, we're looking at in the 17th century, it was discovered that there was a connection between quantity of money and price level. So the connection led to a formulation of the quantity theory of money. The price level or value of money shows the purchasing power of people. This will also going to be discussed. And so we're looking at the quantity theory of money. The classical or pre-Keynesian economic used the quantity theory of money to explain how the general price level is determined. So Matthew 2018, the quantity theory of money seeks to explain the value of money in terms of change in its also quantity, also in the simplest form. The also quantity theories of money state that the level of price is also directly dependent on also money supply. So M also P is equals to function of money. So this means the price level varies also directly and proportional to money supply. For instance, if M is increases, decreases, P will also increase, reduce by the same proportion. So the classical theory of money is based on two major assumptions. One, first, the same law of market, which also states that surely supply creates is on demand, and that is the sum of value of goods produced is also equal to the sum of values of goods also consumed. Two, second is the assumptions of full employment. The theory was first studied in 1586 and also was populated by Ivan Fisher in 1911. And we're looking at the father's quantity theories or Fisher's quantity theories of money. The Ivan Fisher's quantity theory of money hypothesis states that any change in the quantity of money produced in exact, direct, and proportional change in the price level and the value of money decreases and vice versa. For instance, if the quantity of money is reduced by one half, the price will also reduce by one half, while the value of money will also double. Similar, if the quantity of money is double, the price level will also double, and the value of money will be one half. So this means that the value of money is determined also by the supply of any demand for money. Fisher attached emphasis on the use of money, emphasis on the use of money as a medium of exchange. In other words, money is determined for transaction, demanded for transaction purpose. So Fisher equation is represented as MF is equal to PF, where M man stand for the stock of money, V for the velocity of also circulation of money, then the number of times a money also changes, and also P stand for the general price level or index of price, while T is the volume of transaction which takes also place within the given period. So equation 1 is the identifying that they explain the total stock of money used for transaction as equal the value of goods and services. So the link between M and PT is also velocity of money. V is defined as the total spending. PT divided by the quantity of money M. That is F all over V, which is velocity, is equals to price, and T, or in bracket all over, divided by M. And by multiplying both sides of the equation by M, the exchange equation also relates nominal income to quantities of money and velocity. If both V and T are constant, then changes in M must cause changes in P to preserve the equality between MV and PT. So MV is equal to PT, or P is equal to V over T bracket multiplied by M. So the stock of money determine the price level. Ivan Fisher used the equation of exchange to develop the classical quantity theory of money to show the causal relationship between the money supply and price level. So T. Solfi 2018, the transaction also approach to the quantity of theory of money maintain that there exists a direct and proportional relationship between M and P. If the quantity of money is double, the price level will also be double, and if the quantity is level half, the price level will also be half. So Fisher cash also transaction various also further extend the equation of change to include demand, bank deposits, MI, and also the velocity in which the total supply of money and the equation of exchange becomes. So MV plus M minutes V minutes is equals to PT, or P is equals to MV plus MI and VI over T. And assuming V and VI are T, and also ratios of M and M naught are constant, and also increase the M and M naught will lead to an increase in P by the same percentage. According to Fisher, the level of general pricing, that's P, depends on the following factors: the volume of money in circulation, its velocity of circulation, V, the volume of bank deposit, MI, and it's also the velocity of circulation, V naught, and also the volume of trade, which is T. However, it is also not easy to measure the numbers of transactions T if T is replaced by the Y and PY is the options output, or the nominal or income Y is total income. Hence, MV is equal to PV, which is also known as the income version of a quantity theory of money. And so the link between the quantity of money, price level, and the value of money is represented in figure 1. And so we can see that P is equal to functions of M, and we see the loop there, and we see the price level, and we see that as the price is increasing, and also the level of consumption is becoming low. And we also see the value of money, and we can see that I over P is equal to function of money, and we can see the loops as they go on. And so we say in figure 1, a panel A shows the effects of changes in the quantity of money on the price level. The symbol M also represents the quantity of money, while symbol P is the price level. When the quantity of money is double to MI, the price level is also double to P2, and when the quantity of money increases 4 times its size to M4, so the price level also increased by 4 times to P4. The also relationship is also expressed by the curve P, and is equals to function of money from the original at the 45-degree. Also, panel B also shows the inverse relationship between the value of money and the quantity of money. So the inverse relationship is depicted by the downward slope curve, and that is 1 over P is a function of money, such as that when the quantity of money is Mi, the value of money is 1 over P, as the equation of money the double to M2, the value of money is 1/2 what it was before. So that's 1 over P2. Then when the money supply increases to M4, the value of money received by 1 over P2. We're looking at the assumptions of Fisher's theory of exchange. Assumption of Fisher's theory of exchange. One, Fisher assumed that price is a passive factor because price is affected by other factors in the equation, but does not affect cost change in the other equation. So the relation between P and other factors in the equation is one-sided, in as much as P is determined by other elements in the equation, but does not determine them. According to Fisher, the price level is nominal, also normal, also the one absolutely also passive also element in the quantity of exchange. It's controlled solely by other elements, but exerts also no control over them. Then two, we have the theory assumes that V is also Veda's velocity is also constant, but is not affected by the change in the quantity of money M, or the quantity of price level P. Velocity of money V depend upon population, trade activities, habits of people, interest rates, also the facilitate for investment. So it's also assumed that the factors have nothing to do with the change in the money, the value of money. So we're moving on to 3. Further, the theory is based on the assumption that the volume of goods and services T remain constant. It depends on factors such as natural resources, climate condition, the economics of production, productivity of labor, transportation, etc., and are assumed to have nothing to do with the changes in the quantity of money. Then 4, Fishers also assume a long period of time considering V and T to be constant over a period of time. In short period of transaction, there can be a change in other varieties like the variables like T or V, but when this short period or the period of transactions or so of transaction in over, other variable will also become constant, so that a change in M or V will be also followed by a proportionate change in P. So Fisher was also careful to quantify the proportional also relationship suggested by the equations of exchange between change in the quantity of money and change in price level. And 5, the quantity of money is assumed to be autonomous of the real factors, real forces, which determine the volume of transactions or national output because of transaction, because forces will determine the volume of transaction of national output because quantity of money depend upon monetary system and policies of the central bank and the government. Then last one is that Fisher accepts that given the rise in money supply, other changes also taking place simultaneously might affect V or T and thus break the proportional relationship between change in M and change in P, and also modern. However, the part of money by itself on price level holding everything else constant is strictly proportional. And also we are looking at the sorry, we are looking at the other side of it. We are looking at the sorry, I we are looking at the right. We've been able to looking at the assumption theories, looking at the assumptions theories and of Keynesian assumptions of Fisher's theory. And so we're moving on to the criticisms of Fisher's equation of exchange. The criticisms as follow. One, according to Keynes, Fisher's also equation of change is a simple truism because it states that the total quantity of money MV plus M naught and V naught are paid for goods and also services must equal the value of PT and also, but in today's real life situation, it cannot be accepted that a certain percentage also change in the quantity of money leads to the same percentage change in price level. Two, the direct and proportionate relation between quantity of money and price level in Fisher's equation is based on assumption of all things remain unchanged. But in real life, V and I and T are not constant. Moreover, they are also not independent of M or M naught and P, and rather all elements in Fisher's equation are also interrelated and interdependent. For instance, a change in M may also cause a change in V constantly consistent. Consequently, the price level may change more in proportion to a change in the quantity of money. So rise in the price level may also necessitate the issue of money, also of money. And so we see that then two, fails to measure value of money. Fisher's equation does not measure the purchase power of money, but only cash transaction. That is the volume of business transaction of all kinds of what Fisher called the volume of trade in the community during a year, but the purchasing power of money or value of money relates to transactions for the purchases of goods and services for consumption. Thus, the quantity theory also fails to measure the value of money. And one of the main weaknesses of Fisher's equal quantity theory of money is that it neglects the role of the rate of interest as one of the positive factors also between money and price. So Fisher's equation of exchange is related to an equilibrium situation in which rate of interest is independent of the quantity of money. And the next one is the quantity theory cannot explain why there are also fluctuations in the price level in the short run. So secondly, it gives undue importance to the price level as a change in price where the most critical phenomenon of the economic system. So third, it also places a misleading emphasis on the quantity of money as the price causes of change in the price level during trade cycle. Price may not be rise also despite the increase in the quantity of money during the expressions, and they may not also decline with also reduction in the quantity of money during boom. Further, low price also during the depression are not caused by shortage of quantity of money, and high prices during prosperity are not caused by abundance of quantity of money. Thus, the quantity theory is at best an imperfect quantity to cause causes of the trade cycle in short period. And Keynes, in his general theology, also criticized the Fisher's quantity theory of money for unrealistic assumption. First, the quantity theory of money is unrealistic in analyzing the relationship between M and P in the long run and neglect the short run factor which influence the relationship. And second, Fisher's equation holds under the assumption of full employment. The general situation is one of the other employment equilibrium. Third, Keynes does not believe that price level and quantity of money have also directed relationships, though rather they have an indirect relationship through the rate of interest and also the level of output. Also, according to Keynes, output and employment also will also change in the same proportion as the quantity. Also, money no longer as so long as there is unemployment. But when there is full employment, price will change in the same proportion as the quantity of money. But thus Keynes integrates the theory of money, quantity theory, of value theory, and monetary theory. Then the last one is another weakness that the theory, quantity theory of money, neglect the store of value, functions of money, and consider only the medium of exchange and function of money. And so the next one we're looking at the quantitative theory of money, Cambridge cash balance approach. The Cambridge economists such as Alfred Marshall and A.C. Pigott also present an alternative to Ivan Fisher's theories of exchange. Cambridge economists explain the quantity theory of money as a theory of demand for money or liquidity preference. So the transactional approach by Fisher stressed money in the medium of exchange function, whereas the cash between approach by Cambridge economists also emphasize the store of value also aspect of money. So according to the cash balance approach, people like to hold a proportion of minimal income in form of money. So cash balance, let us call the proportion of also of nominal income in the form of money, cash balance, also the proportion of nominal income that people want to hold in also money as K. Then cash balance approach is also represented as M1 is equal to KPY, and where MI is the amount of money which the public wants to hold, Y is the real money, national income, and also aggregate output. So P is the price level, such as that PY is the nominal national income, and K is the proportions of nominal income that people want to hold in money. To achieve money market equilibrium, demand for money must also equal the supply of money, denoted by N. Note that the supply of money N is exogenously determined by the monetary policies of the central bank and also of a country. Thus, equilibrium in the monetary also market is M is equals to MY or M is equals to KPY. It's what also mentioned that K in the equation also 1 to 3, 13 and 1.14 is related to velocity of circulation of Y in Fisher's transactional approach. So thus, when a greater proportion of nominal income is held in the form of money, that is K is higher, V falls. On the other hand, when less proportion of nominal income is held in money, K rises. Crowder posits that the higher the proportion of their real income that the people decide to keep in money, the lower will be the velocity of circulation and vice versa. New 2018, hence K is equals to 1 over V. Now, rearrange equation 1.14, we have cash balance also approach in which P appears as dependent variable. Therefore, P is equals to 1 over K multiplied by M over Y. So, if K and Y remain constant, P is directly proportional to proportional to the initial quantity of money. And so if then we're looking at the criticism for the Cambridge cash also balance version. Cambridge approach to quantitative theory of money ignore some motives for holding money, such as the speculatory demand for money, which is also one of the most important determinants for holding money. Then, two, assume the laxity of demand for money is used unity by assuming that an increased desire for holding cash balance leads to a proportional fall in the price or level. Then the theory also, number three, the theory cannot explain the uh, phenomenon of demand for money to be unity by assuming that an increase in desire for also sorry, trade cycle. Talking about the theory cannot explain the phenomenon of trade cycle. Why also uh, prosperity follows depression and vice versa. Then, four, the cash balance theory explains that cash in the demand for money may also bring about change in the value of money, but it does not explain clearly the factors which also cause change in the demand for money, which in turn are very many particular in a complex active money. Then four, the Cambridge also approach for also assume K and T are given thus it becomes subject to those criticism which were also leveled against Bishop's approach. So I'm stopping here today, and you are free to continue with the story.